This show is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find the other great shows on the network, head over to the deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Bev's Video Kingdom is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised. What is up, Bev's Video Kingdom? How's everybody doing tonight, fellas?
I know, it's spooky. We had like a full moon and
got a full moon for October.
I'm grumpy.
Nate is grumpy. We said, "Are you guys ready?" And Nate said, "No."
I think that what I actually said is no. Fuck off.
Yeah, it was very angry.
It was aggressive.
I'm angry. I'm for some reasons that are entirely related or unrelated to the pod, and for some reasons that I will reveal momentarily.
Jesus.
Okay. Wow.
He's angry.
You're going to have a bad draft, huh?
I guess so.
All right. We are here. Brad, what are we here to do?
What are we here to do?
What are we here to do?
We're going to have a draft.
He wants you to play the goddamn
I know what he wants to do, but we haven't done our Den and network and stuff shit yet.
I was going to talk about it.
Let's do Den shit first.
Okay.
All right. So we are here on a beautiful night at the Bev's Outdoor Studio. And we are going to draft scariest scene in a non-horror movie. Scariest scene in a non-horror movie.
That's why I'm grumpy.
It's very tricky.
Now, the key is scariest, right? So I would think that Nate would have an advantage.
I thought the key was non-horror movie, but fuck me.
Nate would have an advantage because he's scared of a lot of things. So he probably can think of a ton of movies that he would be scared
like
of.
Number one pick where Santa talks to the kid in Christmas
Story? Dude, that's actually...
Well, that's just camera work. That's just zooming up in his face.
Yeah, that shit's scary right there.
That's a
number
great
one pick,
actually. I really like that. Okay, so Bev's Video Kingdom, we are part of the Den podcast network. And what do we think about that, Scott Beck?
It's the Deluxe Edition Network, deluxeeditionnetwork.com. You can find all kinds of great podcasts, various subjects. And this month, the spooky month of October, we have a very appropriate pod of the month, The Return of the Living Flet. So you can join Kyle Curtis Flett on The Return of the Living Flet, where he does reviews, rankings, watch-alongs, interviews, live streams, and so much more. So he definitely loves.
It's one guy or
movies.
two guys?
It's one guy. He has guests on and interviews and stuff like that.
The two first, Kyle Curtis?
Yeah, he loves horror. And so check it out.
Awesome. I'm going to have to check that out. Okay, so Bradley, what day is it?
This really confused you last draft.
God,
so
I know.
You know what we're going to do? We're just going to go ahead and say, hey, you know what?
It's draft day. And in the spirit of that, I want to ask Nate what his fucking problem with this draft category is. I thought it was a really cool idea.
Multiple problems.
Okay.
But number one, talk about just a full out fucking disadvantage here. I mean, it's like, I don't have a good analogy. I don't watch scary movies. Okay. I systematically stay away from movies that have scary scenes.
That's why I think you have an advantage here. You watch... you watch tons of movies that are not horror movies, so you should be able to pick from those movies what are the scariest things that scare you.
But there's an enormous gray area here where, like, I'm going to stay away from a goddamn psychological thriller because I don't want to have nightmares for the next month.
A psychological thriller will give you nightmares?
Are you joking? Is that are you trying to be funny right now? Yes, dude. What are you talking about? I'd actually rather watch a stupid horror movie than watch one of those, like, fucked up movies about real people who do real crazy shit and jump out at me.
But the thing is, we don't know what our judges are going to dig, though.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Either way, dude, it's a big. Brad, it'd be like if I was like, okay, category for this week is funniest scenes in The American Office. All right, go. Cool.
Brad would be at a disadvantage.
Notice how he's got no retort to that.
I could
at all.
YouTube some shit. I'd figure it out.
exactly.
I'd make it happen.
I literally sat down with my dad and I was like, so I got a shitty draft category. What and he just started throwing scenes out. My dad, who also hates scary movies, knew way more than I did.
Because he's thinking about it the right way. He's having a positive attitude.
Unfortunately, every scene I'm going to draft is pre-1975. but what are you going to do? Fuck it, I'm going to lose.
Non-scary, non-horror. I mean, it's like the movie's not supposed to be intentionally necessarily scary, right?
False.
Agreed. That's how I took it.
Hard false.
I say you can pick so. I don't want to give spoilers. I don't want to give spoilers.
All right, fine.
So let's just argue about it once we start.
My biggest question is this: do we have a specific source that we can cite as far as what is considered horror or not? Because we said horror.
No. I'll decide.
I'll decide.
You'll decide. Brad decides.
I'll decide.
And what citation format should we use for that one?
Because I was there's a couple that popped in, a couple popped into my brain that I thought were great picks, and I looked them up, and like Wikipedia said thriller and not horror.
Thriller, suspense.
And then I looked somewhere else and it said fucking horror on it. And so I didn't know, like,
I think it's just if we can shout you down,
we will be the arbiter of what is a horror.
So the best approach would be to pick it, and then you guys might.
Well, can we just say 2 seconds though? I mean, I assumed a horror movie was a movie in which there was like a significant focus on a lot of blood and gory scenes that were shown on camera.
I would say that's part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Don't give me some vague shit. What else is the other part of it?
That's the whole point. It
my
is vague.
God,
That's what I was saying on the text message earlier is that it's vague, and that's what's going to make it good
I
pop.
get it now. That's the whole point of making categories is to make it so that they bleed over and don't have any boundaries or make any sense. I got it. Perfect. Okay. Categories don't mean anything.
Last pod, Nate was saying that he's not anal or type A at all. I'm pretty sure.
No, he was actually saying he was. Oh. I see what you did.
I am very anal. All right,
Yeah.
let's just.
We specifically did not discuss this ahead of time so we could have this conversation. So
Yes,
hopefully
exactly.
it's,
Thanks for ruining my day, guys.
right.
So, Brad, if we were going to draft the scariest non-horror scenes in a movie, how would we pick that draft order, big guy?
Well, you know what? I decided I'm going to do some normal shit. I just need to do some normal shit, but sometimes normal shit ends up scary. Like, for example, it's normal to play board games, right? Is that kind of normal?
Yeah, to some people, yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I sat down and I played the game Perfection. And if you don't remember what Perfection is, you have a bunch of little shapes and you push the little board down, you set a timer, and you got to put those little shapes in before that thing pops up.
Oh.
And you start stressing at the end and it gets so scary. So I tried to get those shapes in the correct spots and that thing popped and I shit my pants. And all the little shapes formed the number 4.
In your turds?
And no, on the little yellow pieces that you try to put in the board, and it was the number 4, and it was the name Scott.
Oh, last pick. We're going backwards. I love it.
So,
He did this to me a few drafts ago where he gets me all excited where he says my name first.
yeah,
That's the 4th pick.
I didn't do it. The Perfection board had the number 4, so I was like, "Fuck, I guess that's what that means." So
He only had a second to look at it because he had to go wipe himself.
I did shit my pants. That was terrible. When that thing pops up, it's scary as fuck.
Nothing makes you shit your pants like Scotch Beck.
Like perfection.
All right, so then it's normal to look in a mirror, right? That's kind of a normal thing you might do.
Like,
Do you say Candyman?
I mean, as a
Wow.
game.
I went to the bathroom late last night and I was feeling a little bit frisky. So, even though it was pitch dark and I couldn't see myself in the mirror, I decided to say Candyman 3 times.
Oh.
Shit, dude.
I thought you were
All
going
of a
somewhere different
sudden-
with the frisky.
That's what you do when you're feeling frisky.
I did. I wanted to tempt fate. I was like, hey, I'm tempting fate today.
I was feeling frisky last night. I did something very different.
I mean, that sounds like something Zach would do when he's
yeah.
frisky.
What
but-
actually happened was Candyman showed up and jerked Brad off.
No, I wish, because what happened was even worse because all of a sudden Zach's face popped up. And then
He jerked him off.
Christ.
And then he held up 3 fingers the British way, and a fucking Nazi came out of left field and shot him and killed him, and it was horrifying.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I definitely had nightmares last
Sorry.
night.
You weren't kidding when you
spun
said
around
come
in
out
the
of left
mirror.
field.
Zach showed up doing the shocker, and a Nazi killed
He
him.
just put 3 fingers up like that,
It's the shocker.
and a Nazi came and shot him in the face.
I got to sub to my phone. I check in and out of these things, and things get weird.
He wasn't the shocker. Yeah. So besides that, it's normal to go for a walk, right? Going for a walk, it's not a big deal.
Pretty normal.
All right. Well, I went for a walk through the orchard near Bosco's Cantina
Oh.
during the full moon a couple nights ago. And I was walking through rows and rows of freshly shaken walnut trees, and I came to a clearing, and there was piles and piles of walnuts. And so I was kind of examining the walnuts, trying to figure out what was going on. And I could make out they'd been spread out over the ground into a picture of Nate reclining naked on a couch, giving the peace sign.
Giving the peace sign?
He's giving the peace sign. It's kind of freaky, though. I was a little scared. I was like, why are they all shaped like that?
That's what I do when I get frisky.
Why is that near my house? That's probably the better question.
Why are your walnuts shaped like that? That's what I'm asking.
Why'd you spend all yesterday trying to make that out of walnuts?
I'm not saying.
I will say, he gave you a lot of credit, Nate. He gave you a lot of credit.
I appreciate that. I got some big walnuts.
And then, guys, it's kind of normal to ride in a car, right? Normal to ride in a car?
I do that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, my son's learning to drive, so I wanted to get a sturdy car to protect him as he's learning. And so I found Nate's old El Camino on eBay. And I bought that shit. And so we took it for a practice drive. And sure enough, the passenger door still flies open when you go around turns.
That checks out.
So I flew out around 40 miles an hour. And when I got up after just rolling across the cement, I looked up and the blood marks from my various like road rash, my road rashed limbs, it said Brad in that blood. I was like,
makes sense.
Oh, well, that's cool.
That really makes sense.
I guess I'm the first pick.
I guess you are.
So Brad, Nate, Zach, Scotch. All right. So I'm ready. I can't wait for Nate's first pick.
I legitimately am already
Nate is not first
No,
pick.
I know, but I want to hear.
his.
You're going to pick something reasonable. Nate's going to go off the wall right now.
Yeah, I have no idea where you guys are going. I don't know where I'm going. I have a bunch of different directions.
I know exactly where I'm going to go, and
All right.
it might not be the number one, but for me, at least growing up, it was the scene I did not want to see, even though I loved the fuck out of this movie. I'm going to go ahead and go with Tim Burton's classic, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
That's my number one.
Large Marge.
That really.
And it looked
draft.
just like
That's my number
this.
one pick.
Like that, man. That
eyeballs.
amazing claymation. It's so great, but it's such a fast little scene. You're not expecting it in this fun-loving movie, and all of a sudden that shit comes out of left field.
I already know how this draft is going to go.
Here he comes.
You're going to disqualify every pick I make, and I am going to refuse to make replacement picks. And you can send a team that's fucking 4 blanks for me. All you guys can suck it right now.
Jesus Christ, it's a hostility, man.
I thought that was an amazing
We
pick.
haven't even drafted yet.
What are we upset about here?
Because I know the direction you guys are going. You guys specifically said thrillers were legit. And you were like, that's my number one pick. Pee-wee's Playhouse is the scariest scene in a fucking
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, most memorable scary scene in a non-scary movie. I think of non-scary movies as it's like just something you're not expecting.
It wasn't non-scary. It was non-horror. And I've clarified this very explicitly via text messages today.
And Pee-wee's Big Adventure is a non-horror movie.
I'm with Brad on
Correct.
this one,
And
unfortunately.
it's a scary moment and non-horror.
It's memorable as a scary moment where you're not.
Fine.
It's not going to be
fine. You guys are dumb. I'm taking the head spinning around scene in The Exorcist.
That's a fucking horror movie.
It's a great pick,
Not
but that's
a horror movie.
Yes.
It's like one of the most famous horror movies of all time.
It is not a horror movie. It's not like a slasher film.
It's not a slasher film.
It is in the horror
But it is a
section
horror
wherever
movie.
you go.
It's a
There's
thriller.
literally-
If you
It's
went
a
to
thriller.
BVK, it
Literally
was
a
in
possession.
the horror category.
Possession does not count. I clarified this.
No, you did not.
This is my favorite draft so far.
Oh my lord! He came at
That's a
grumpy.
great-
and
that's
a great
getting
pick.
grumpy.
That
name.
is number one on every
If we were going
horror
like
list ever made.
not-
If we were
horror.
going like
No.
memorable
No.
scene from a horror movie, that'd
I
be
literally
number one pick.
Googled scariest movies and non-horror movies, and this was on the list. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine.
I did
Okay.
a lot of Googling.
All
I
right.
never saw that.
Wow.
Blair Witch final scene.
Horror movie.
That's a horror movie.
Okay, I
can't back out of the draft.
I forfeit my second
cannot
draft.
do
Okay, wait, but
No.
you said horror as in like it has to show killing. No, a horror movie is where it's
Okay.
intentionally trying to scare you.
Okay, all right, hold on. Let's just take a quick pause here. Okay.
You're gonna go to Webster's.
No,
Webster's defines-
I don't need to get that technical. Let's just see.
He's looking
To
back at
double
text.
confirm, tonight's draft is scariest scene in a non-scary movie. Zach, non-horror.
Brad.
Right.
Nate
Said non-horror.
Nate. No, Zach, non-horror.
I also said
Nate,
it.
So no, you didn't.
Listen.
So thrillers?
I even
Question mark.
explained it. I even explained it.
Zach, yes.
No. I said something before that though. You're skipping around.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at the screen right now. So
Blair Witch is not a thriller.
So thrillers? Question mark. Yes, Zach says.
Yeah, thrillers.
Meaning you can use a thriller scene.
Yes.
It's very subjective, and we will argue that that's fine. Yes. Are you telling me that Blair Witch, in which zero blood is spilled?
No, they show bloody teeth and like they find
It's
all
one of the
sorts of
tensest
little-
movies. I mean, the whole movie
Tension
is
was not the category. Okay, I'm going to go down my list. I can't wait. I'm going to see how many I can get through.
I did not see this coming.
I can't.
Neither did I.
I did not.
I didn't think he was
wait.
going to pick a bunch of horror movies when he specifically asked, "Can we pick horror movies?" And I was like, "No."
A guy who doesn't watch horror movies.
Here's Johnny scene in The Shining.
That's a horror movie.
Horror
Great.
movie.
Bursts out from the chest in Alien.
That's fine.
I think I'll take that, and that's actually a great pick. I think that's a great pick. That one scared the. I didn't have that on my list. That scared the crap out of Jackson.
I will forfeit this draft.
You're doing
I will
great.
forfeit under protest.
You're gonna win on accident, so just keep it up.
Wow.
That's a great pick. Do we need to
Good
pump
job,
you
buddy.
up? Do you want us to
No,
pump you up?
I object heartily to this entire draft is under protest. I will be filing a complaint with the commissioner.
Oh, geez.
See
So
where
I'm
it
gonna
goes.
go. So I'm
This
gonna
is somebody
go.
who's not had a W in a while, huh?
Sounds like it.
So I'm gonna go a movie that sticks with me, and I'm gonna go the final sequence in Requiem for a Dream,
Oh, yeah.
where Jennifer Connelly is like doing the weird snake butt stuff, and what's his name gets his arm cut off, and they give that lady a lobotomy, and it's basically just the wildest shit. All fucking the big crescendo of that movie.
Yeah, I was thinking about that movie, but I couldn't quite pinpoint.
I was gonna say a
which
scene.
part.
When
Yeah,
we say
that
scene,
whole
I-
that whole thing's a scene.
It's like
it
a
is.
montage kind of.
Yeah.
I
like-
put final tragic sequence. I mean, the
Yeah.
music's like building at the very end, and when they're showing all this terrible shit go down,
Yeah.
Ass to ass,
and you get to
things
see
going
like
on.
the one guy's in jail, and it's fucking terrible.
it is. It makes you feel bad things.
Okay,
Reach-a-rito.
this is my first is a test to see if it counts, and if it counts, it's gonna piss
It's a
off.
test.
Well, I will say it took us about 0.5 seconds to shut down Nate's
Right.
first three.
Nate
Okay.
did an extensive test.
Extensive tests. That's what you know. He's used to doing that.
Because the
A
first
lot of research.
the first place I searched, it said crime thriller, sloth in 7.
I think that counts, and I think that's the so. What I wanted to say at the beginning, I think 7 is kind of the pendulum, the center line where you say 7. I don't think is a horror movie, but I think it. I think
crime-
anything
crime
on the,
thriller,
anything
yeah.
to the left of that.
You think The Shining is
Yeah.
more of a horror movie
Yes.
than okay?
Have you seen it?
No,
Fucking
It's scary.
insane, dude.
look at every list. It's not a horror movie.
So anyway, so my pick is sloth when they're sitting there, they're walking up on the
Oh,
body.
I know what you're talking about.
And I fucking shit my pants in the
It's a
theater.
big jump scare.
It was one of the biggest jump. And so what I'm kind of going with, what I based my list off of, was kind of thinking back. I'm gonna try not to pick anything I haven't seen.
Right.
I'm thinking of back to my
Stuff that scared
childhood,
you.
stuff
I'm
that
doing the same
scared
thing.
me.
100%.
Yeah.
And some stuff may not scare anybody else, and I might catch some shit because I might see something scary that isn't.
No, that's good.
But,
I like the
so
way
that's
that
kind of
you.
where I'm going with it.
I like
So-
the way that you understood the assignment.
So the second one that's also going to piss off Nate, I'm going to go with the severed head underneath the water with Jaws.
that was going to be my next pick.
a
Because
good pick.
only because it's one of the few on my list that I was going to just legitimately get up and leave.
That fucked me up way more than anything else in the movie.
Really?
Oh my gosh, there's something about it because like you're not really expecting like a scare there, and he comes around, and that severed head pops up, and it just freaked me the hell out.
See, that's a borderline one for me. Like, I feel like Jaws is kind of a horror movie.
And
It's
again,
trying to
I saw it
scare
on
you.
multiple.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think that's definitely not a horror movie.
You guys vote.
I think there's been movies made after that. about
What would you
sharks and
would you put
alligators
it
and
as a
stuff.
thriller?
I would put
Yes.
it as a
Action
thriller
movie?
drama.
Thriller action.
Okay. All right, we're back to you, Zach.
Okay, so I'm with you, Scott Beck. I'm picking stuff that scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. And last Halloween, I was going to do this movie. This was going to be the movie that I was going to do, and I watched it with both my boys. And oh my gosh, scared the crap out of them. I'm going Ernest Scared Stupid.
I knew you were gonna pick
and
this
I'm
at some
going
point.
the trolls in Ernest Scared Stupid when the little girl kind of rolls over in her bed and there's a troll in her bed. And oh man, it's the scariest fucking scene.
I knew you were gonna pick that
Dude,
today.
That's a
So
classic.
good.
That's not bad. I like that.
All right.
I've never seen it, but
Oh,
you've talked about it before.
It's good.
I'm tempted here just to fuck with you guys that I'm going to go through my list here, and I'm going to pick the ones that I think are.
I don't get if you were
to.
like if anything was horror adjacent, why didn't you just go straight away from that and just be like, I don't want to be any part
because
of that?
they're not the scariest scenes. As soon as you get far away from it, like it can't compete with the like psychological
I
thrillers.
think contextually,
which these are.
100% it can.
100%
For sure.
Okay. Well, this one's I don't know which way this one is going to go. Okay, Cape Fear.
Okay.
Good movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Okay, the scene where he says come out," right? And Nick Nolte's shitting his pants behind a dumpster.
All right. That's a horror movie. I'm just kidding.
I need it's when De Niro shows up,
Yeah.
or is that what we're talking
There's
about?
a scene where
Come out wherever you are.
come out wherever.
Who says
you
that?
are.
Which character? I don't
De Niro.
know.
De Niro
Niro
does.
says
De Niro?
that Nick Nolte's hiding, I believe. I don't know. I've never seen it, so
I think it's scary when
I don't watch fucking
puts his
that kind of movie.
he puts his fingers in Juliette Lewis's mouth and shit.
That scene is
Yeah.
creepy.
It's so
Fuck.
creepy,
It's
dude.
so-
She was doing she did an interview about it. She was like super young, dude. We're watching Yellow Jackets right now. Have any of you guys watched
Dude,
that?
I wanted to get into that, and I was wondering
She's-
if you guys had seen it yet.
So we're on like the third episode. It's very good.
Okay.
And Juliette Lewis is in it. But anyways,
All right, as we move on, I've got two here I'm going to go with. One's for the adults, one's for the kids. All right, first off, I'm going to go, this movie legit just fucked me up after watching it. Like, it's there's so many funny moments, and trying to keep up with the accents is wild. But when you're trying to kick heroin and you do it cold turkey, and you start seeing the
good pick.
dead baby crawling on the wall and
head
then up to the
spinning around and
ceiling, and
shit.
its head starts spinning, then it just like falls at him. It's fucked up as fuck. Renton in the bed, cold turkey with the baby.
Baby on Ceiling.
Train spotting. That
you seen that, Nate?
scene screwed me up.
No.
I was not ready for that scene
I don't,
at all.
I don't like scary movies or heavy drug use movies.
Ugh, it's
Yeah.
a heavy drug use
You
movie.
would- yeah.
Okay.
Great
And
pick.
number two here, we're gonna go ahead and drop. Oh man, which way did I go? Okay, I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna go ahead and bring some fun to it because every kid wanted to go to Charlie or to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. But no kid wanted to go on that fucking creeped out boat ride.
The log
because
ride or whatever the
it
boat
just
ride.
gets out of control really fast. You've got these freaky images of eyes and bugs crawling on things, and you've got Gene Wilder is just fucking screaming at
Going
everybody.
off his
I think you mean
ass.
Johnny
So
Depp.
Faster and faster. He's just going nuts, and it seems so out of place for a fun loving where there's so many fun little songs and everything, and then he's just going nuts. So yeah, sorry,
There's
chocolate factory.
quite a few creepy
There was
stuff
something
going on
about that movie when I was a kid that really got me, and my mom gives me shit to this day because she said I was scared of that movie, and it was because she thinks that I thought I was a bad kid and was going to be one of those kids that got screwed up or something. And so she's
They were gonna push you in the
she'll bring
chocolate
it up
lake or something?
She's like, Scotty, you would have been in that chocolate fountain so quick.
exactly. And I think it was the fat kid getting sucked up the tube that freaked me out. I was like, I could totally see myself getting sucked up the chocolate tube.
You're like, all those flowers and stuff look so
Yeah.
delicious.
So anyway, but she's I'd say like once a year she'll remember how scared you were on Willy Wonka? I was like, Mom, shut up.
Not in front of my friends, Mom.
Meatloaf.
I'm trying to do a podcast.
I don't live with my mom.
All right, Grandpa Grumps over here. What do we got going?
I'm going to pick one that you're guys going to disallow, so fuck you.
Bring it on.
I'm going to take Strangers, where the masked figure appears.
The Strangers, the horror movie. The Strangers.
One of my favorite horror movies. Go again.
Okay. I love
I don't
that.
understand how he doesn't understand.
I
don't get it.
don't understand how you don't understand. You said thrillers were allowed.
Right.
This is a goddamn thriller.
Yeah, but it's
Does
also a
anyone get-
horror movie.
It's a horror movie.
Okay, so what happens when it's a thriller and a horror?
Then
it's a horror.
It's disqualified.
Hard disagree. This the whole thing's under protest. Okay.
Gosh.
We're gonna go with. I just should go through all of them.
Best sports moment in a non-sports movie. Bull Durham.
That would be.
That's a romantic comedy.
Legit.
No, it's a romantic comedy sports movie.
Okay. Mulholland Drive diner scene.
It's
Good.
Have you seen it?
No,
Fuck, it's good.
I don't watch scary movies.
Is that the scene with the little small?
There's
wait,
a-
no, or
there's a
I'm
guy
thinking of a different movie.
No, you're thinking of Twin Peaks.
I am.
which is
Yeah.
the same guy.
Right.
No, so it's
Guy
like
behind the diner.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking
I
great.
think he sees like a face, something. I don't know.
Same director.
I can't wait for you to win, and these girls be like, "Hey, check out! Oh, what a great list!" And you're like,
Oh,
I know nothing."
I hope I win, and I'm literally going to stand on my chair and I'm going to piss all over this table.
They're gonna have seen all.
We
of
will
them.
film
They're
that,
gonna
folks.
like
I
it.
promise.
Yeah.
There
Be
will
on the
be
socials.
multiple angles.
We might get kicked off Instagram, but
Yeah.
We'll make a
Scott's going to
We'll make a sculpture out of walnuts.
piss on that too.
Oh, Zachy,
It's on me.
it is.
All right, I'm going to go with one that has traumatized myself, my children, my friends' children, and everyone that I either get them to watch this movie with their kids or watch this movie with them, and that is the movie Willow. And in the opening of Willow, they have what my kids and Justin's kids call the devil dogs, and they kind of come and hunt down the Willow's mom, the lady that takes Willow out of the crazy orphanage and puts him in the river, and the dogs eat her, and it is just absolutely brutal and scary. And that is one of the scariest things I saw when I was a kid, and scared the shit out of me. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean it's very quick though. I mean she just kind of gets like taken down, and then it's like,
Dude, when they're howling and they're coming, and then they get her on the ground, and the dog like does that weird thing that that crazy dogs do, where they shake their head once they get a hold of something. Oh, it's so awesome.
Okay, that was out of left field. I didn't have that on my list. I like that.
That's because there's so many thrillers that are ahead of it.
All right, Scotch, what do you got, my friend?
okay. So since we've already allowed Alien, I'm taking something from Aliens, and it was a scene that scared the shit out of me in the theater. It was when they find the colonists. They're all up against the walls, and they grab that one by the head, and they're checking them out, see if they're alive, and all of a sudden the eyes open and just scare the shit out of you.
Good jump scare.
Great jump scare. For my rap Orito, man, there's so many on the list that I know Nate wants.
Yeah, I want them all.
Gosh, they all surround. There's going to be a lot here.
Yeah, I'm going to have one.
So
And we'll say it's not a.
another movie you really weren't expecting a scare at the time. It just kind of came out of absolute nowhere. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. When Bilbo is talking to Frodo, and he's showing him the sword, and then he's showing him the mithril armor, and then he goes, "Try it on." He starts unbuttoning his shirt, and then Bilbo sees the ring, and then he tries to grab it real quick, turns into like this crazy little face, and just total big jump scare.
Well, at first he's kind of like trying to plead. He's like, "Hey, can I see it?" And then you see Frodo starts to back off a little
Right,
bit. Like,
right.
wait a second, what? And that's when he like loses his shit and it's like great evil face. It's all dark and
It's out of complete nowhere where you're
That
enjoying this
one-
nice scene with Bilbo and Frodo. They're
When
getting back together.
when they're in his like cabin or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
I
that is a good
legit
one.
jumped on that one. I
big
remember
time.
just like being fuck. Oh shit.
That's a good pick. I like that.
That's very nice. That's a nice fourth.
So obviously I
round
went
pick
with jump scares. That's what scares me.
there. Yeah, you got the whole. Pretty much.
I got the jump
scare.
scare.
Yeah, it's all jump scares down.
All right, Zach, you're up.
Zach.
More on me. I'm trying to decide. I've got some picks here.
I've got a few in my pocket that I cannot believe
There's
have been picked yet.
I know there's a lot.
And it's going to be a struggle for me to decide at the end.
I need some time here.
I think Nate was just a really brave kid. So it's like, he's like, no, nothing fucked with me when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And then he stopped watching like scary thriller movies and stuff. And so it's like, he has no basis for anything. He's like, no, none of those kid movies fucked me up.
I watched Silver Bullet at Donnie Thomason's house when I was 6,
I remember that. With the kid in the wheelchair and the werewolves.
and it ruined me.
That was a fucked up movie too.
It ruined me to the point where I clearly don't know the difference between a horror and a thriller.
that was a thriller / horror because it wasn't super horror, but it definitely had horror elements.
Okay, I have my pick.
All right.
And it's kind of a different one from the ones that I've picked before, but it's truly a scary, scary moment and feeling that you don't really. It just kind of seems that it comes out of nowhere, and it's super scary, and but not a jump scare. And I'm going to go with Minority Report when Tom Cruise is at the public pool, and he gets in the pool, and he goes underneath the water, and he's under there, and he's looking around. We've actually talked about it on the pod.
Yeah.
And he comes up, it could have been a contender for a swimming pool.
Swimming pool scene. That's when we talked about it. Yeah.
But man, when he comes out of the water and his kid's gone and the watch is laying there on the ground, and fuck, dude, that
as a parent, I'm sure that was just scary as shit.
Oh, dude, and then it just kind of devolves into like him like searching frantically and running. Oh man, it's so scary.
See that one, like I was talking with my family. We were kind of like just rolling through some pics and stuff, and we were talking about like scary versus like dread versus
that's
like,
more dread or like just
yeah. So it's not necessarily a scary
Panic.
scene, but it's definitely makes you feel some shit. Like, oh fuck, if that happened to me. So I don't know. All right, Nate.
I can't wait until we do the funniest scene in a non-comedy, and you guys try to pick Shawshank Redemption, and I'll be like, "That's a comedy." Remember that time they kicked the shit out of that guy and he died?
You would be wrong, but yeah,
It was fucking hilarious.
make that take.
That's a comedy. You can't pick it.
Bitter.
the part where the old librarian hangs himself. It's
I love
hilarious.
that there was no debate between
You're all
any of us
swinging.
about his picks. We're all very adamant, and he's just like, "Fuck
Wrong.
y'all,
Y'all wrong."
You are
Yeah.
all wrong."
Just,
Okay.
He liked to. He,
So
he
It
made the
wasn't like we
argument-
were having discussion. Like, well, man, it was just like,
I'm
no.
gonna pick this one for me,
Finally,
which is the only one. And
Nightmare on Elm Street.
And I swear to God, if you don't let me have this one, I will not register a fourth pick.
Great. Here it goes.
this is your fourth pick.
I know. You will leave that blank.
Oh, okay.
So it will just write under protest in the fourth slot. Okay. So when I was a kid, probably a teenager, I made the serious mistake of watching this movie. And to this day, it's the thing that's probably the single scariest, it's the scariest movie I ever watched.
Please don't be a horror movie. please.
Fire in the Sky, which is
That's not a horror movie.
Great
at all.
call.
which is an alien
Awesome.
abduction
That
movie.
was a scary fucking scene, dude.
I picked it because I knew you dickheads would
That's a great-
let me pick it.
Good scene. Dude.
Fire in the Sky, first abduction. It is goddamn terrifying. The whole movie, though, is like
I've never seen
and
it.
especially because, you spend some time, Scott, out irrigating at night.
Yeah.
Dude, it was years before I could safely irrigate at night for that movie.
Because the aliens were coming.
Because the aliens were going to suck you up with the big fucking they have their big helicopter high beam.
I wish Justin was here.
Hit you with it and just bang up there. Your face is covered with a giant condom. It's terrible.
What would make you think that would be a horror movie?
I didn't.
Okay.
That's why I warned that if you guys tried to pull some shit on me, I knew you guys
As if we're conspiring
weren't
against
being
you?
serious. I can only assume that you guys discussed it ahead of time. Where anything Nate says is it's a horror.
Oh man, I just can't believe I have so many on my list left. I really didn't expect this.
The thing that's scariest right now to me is that Nate's team's actually good enough to maybe pull off a win, and that would piss me off so fucking much.
Yeah,
I
Matt,
already
you
said
might,
earlier,
you
he's
might
gonna win.
flip the tables on us because
Yeah.
if you win,
goddamn
you're going to
well.
have three people who are just very.
I'm going to
Well, it
laugh
makes sense.
hysterically at all, right up in your faces too.
It makes sense because what he got to do was kind of just ask all the questions live on the draft and just be like, "Is this a horror movie? No. Okay, what's
We
in this?
basically
Is this a horror
curated
movie?
his
No.
list.
Yeah. Until we found one that we were
actually,
like,
this whole
okay,
thing
we
was the
accept
plan.
that.
I was going to be like, "Where's the line?"
You know
I'm
what
going to find
happens
the scariest shit that you don't count as a horror movie. That's my pick.
in some fantasy leagues I've been in. When people take a pick that shouldn't be picked, you got to take a shot. We might have to instill some rules here at some point, so that there's some punishment. So you can't just do what he did.
I
Maybe you guys
thought it
should.
was.
You know what? We could also just define categories clearly.
If I thought it was intentional, I'd be upset, but I don't
All
think
right.
it was.
My final pick here. Oh boy, I can't believe I'm going to leave this one off because it's more like a how you feel about it as a kid. I'm going to go with one that is just this is another dread scene. No, fuck it. I'm not going dread.
You're
Fuck
gonna
dread.
go.
He talked
All right.
himself out of it.
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
know
go.
what you were
I'm
gonna
going
say.
back to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, something that everybody when those Nazi faces start melting, and it's just like
What's scarier, that or Last Crusade?
See, that's the thing. I was talking about the family. You've got the heart pulled out in Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
and when that guy's going down in the fire, that always used to fuck me up. The melting in the after drinking the cup, that wasn't that.
Really, I think that one's
it's,
pretty good.
It's cool looking, but it just
not
wasn't
scary,
scary.
yeah.
Like
I had Raiders on my list, but it wasn't any of those scenes. The thing that scared me the most as a kid.
when they open the ark, right?
Nope.
that's what I'm talking about. Melting.
That's what
The
he's
snake
talking about.
scene?
Nope. It was when at the
When
very
he
beginning, when he's in
kisses
that
the
first tunnel,
13-year-old?
and Alfred Molina, he asks the idol, he pitches him the idol, and then he leaves him, and then he goes down the tunnel, he gets underneath the door that's closing, and all of a sudden he's sitting there, and all of a sudden he turns real quick, and there's Alfred Molina with spikes in his head because he got there's
It's
a
a little
jump
bit of
scare.
a little bit of a jump scare.
That freaked me out as a kid. Like again, I thought this, hey, adventure movie, Indiana Jones, how cool. All of a sudden, here's this dude with spikes through his skull, and they freaked me out. So
I
didn't
think,
that
I
make
think
you like
the
it
big
more?
bonus for me,
Didn't that make you like it more?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think the big bonus for me getting that Raiders of the Lost Ark is going to be like, oh, that was the last pick. That's going to look good. That, oh my God, you got the Nazi melting faces.
That's a good last pick.
last pick. That's a draft.
That's
Is that
that's
it?
the draft. That was quick. There's a lot of protesting.
We'll talk about also rans when the ladies come.
Yeah.
We sure will. Well, who are these ladies that are coming? Do you want me to tell about that? All right. So joining us in just a little while to judge our chaotic and aggravating and
under protest.
wild under protest draft, we're gonna have the ladies from Two Chicks and a Horror Flick podcast. They are going to be joining us. They love horror movies, and so as you heard them last week, we were talking with them about High Tension. They are now joining us to judge the most memorable scary scenes in non-horror movies.
I can't wait. I hope they take Nate's team and be like, oh, that's a horror movie. Jaws is a horror movie. Oh, I can't wait.
We shall see.
I didn't choose Jaws.
Oh, you didn't choose Jaws?
So you
I-
want-
shit.
so you can eat it.
I might get disqualified.
I think that one's
like
on the
they
line.
might say, oh, sorry, 7
I think that's
is a horror movie.
I think 7 and Jaws are the closest.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't take either one of those.
I don't know.
I took actual thrillers.
Well, we're sending this info now, and they're going to look it over, and then they will be joining us before too much longer.
Love it.
So I actually think my most questionable pick actually is Alien. I was surprised you guys. I actually count that as something you just finally relented.
And you know
because
what's-
I gave
you know
some shit
what's-
I
about
don't
it.
think that's a horror movie.
You know what's interesting is when I was looking these up, Alien was listed as a horror
a
movie.
lot of people count it
and
that way.
Aliens was not.
See,
And
Aliens
I
is an
actually think of it as
action
the
Aliens is
exact
more of an
opposite.
action thriller.
It's like a sci-fi action thriller. So, but when you like, I didn't want to say anything. You guys both said Alien was cool. I'm like, all right, let's let them have
the
it.
sci-fi
That's what I'm talking
addition to it kind of, I don't know. It's kind of nullifies the horror
Yeah.
factor to me.
That's
but
cool.
I say, I say
Good
we
story, bro.
let's vacate that pick of his. All right, let's go.
It's fine. You just replace that with entire draft under protest. I'm fine.
There we go.
we'll be back.
I'm Tawny Ray,
And I'm Felicia Connor.
and we are Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast.
We are two horror-addicted best buds sharing our unedited, comical, no bullshit opinions on the horror flicks we love and hate.
And you can always expect some interesting movie trivia. We cuss a bunch, spoil the shit out of some movies, and drink a little whiskey.
You can find us on every social media platform and listen to us on your favorite podcatcher by searching Two Chicks and a Horror Flick.
And remember, no nightmares.
All right, and we're here, and you guys remember these guys from last episode. They were on our High Tension podcast, and we've got Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. We've got Tawny and Felicia here with us. Ladies, how are we doing this evening?
Real good.
Great.
Thank you.
Excited to do this.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you guys here. So we just had you guys didn't get to listen to it because we can't let the judges know who made the picks, because a lot of times we have judges that know us and then they'll pick favorites. You know what I mean? We'll get like Nate's grandma or something on here, and then she'll want to pick Nate every time if she knows which team is his,
You know
which is
what?
unfair.
Bite your tongue. She's an objective woman.
Exactly my point. So thank you guys for coming on. We just had a very hotly contested draft in which basically Nate tried to protest the entire draft because of why? Because you didn't understand the draft category? Is that why?
No,
Was that the
no,
only
no,
reason, or
no,
was that the
no,
main
It was
reason?
because when I sucked clarification.
Are we making up words?
What's
A
the
tumble?
You definitely suck.
Sucked is the past tense of seeked. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So when I sucked clarification from you guys via text, you all were like,
You said, so it can be a thriller, and I
it's not
said yes.
Scary movie. It's the non-horror movie.
Non-horror.
And you dipshits said, yeah,
Yes.
but thrillers are fine. I was like, great. The internet says there's all these movies that are thrillers.
And then you proceeded to pick every horror movie that's ever been made.
No. He doesn't know. Let's not spoil any of that.
No, they don't know. They don't know that he tried to pick all the movies we told him he
You know
couldn't
what?
pick.
Oh, well, he did pick a lot of horror.
I was this close to just forfeiting the draft under protest and having Brad put under protest in every one of my picks. And That would have been a first.
And we have never disqualified as many. I think we disqualified more picks tonight than in the total 80 plus episodes that we've done.
In the first round, all by me.
And the saddest thing is he's probably going to win.
Shits.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So should we ask them what?
Before we let our guests speak, we've got to play our super cool bumper that we made for the draft host.
Yeah,
so
we're going to be getting judged. So
we got a draft judge. Let's throw it to Brad.
Let's hear a song.
Metrics, YouTube assist. Gonna point out all the shit that we missed. It's the draft judge, crushing dreams once again.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
The emotion in your voice is
sauce at the end.
Yeah, we had to get real emo on that. So, ladies,
well, just real quick, Tawny, Felicia, we can't pass it over. That is Zach on the vocals. And this guy's he's got a magical voice.
We produce our own bumpers. No big deal.
Wow. Well done.
Oh, thank you, ladies. We have a professional musician in the group, and Scott Beck's got a recording studio, and so we get to go in there and we get to record all these silly bumpers that we play in between all of our little segments on the episode.
Drink too much. And
it's usually a drunken mess, but...
And for the low price of $5.99 per bumper, Scotch Beck.
Look, I wish I was getting paid that much. Jesus.
So, no, I said $5.99, not $5.99.
Come on, Scott. What do you think you do there? All right.
So we were going to draft. So we're going to draft scary movies, and as a group, we're not super well versed in scary movies. At least these three guys aren't. And so we figured we would get some judges that were going to be super educated in this field. And so we decided to reach out to the Two Chicks and a Horror Flick girls from their podcast, Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. You guys can find it on any platform. Go check it out. Super cool. We all dig it. Now, the question is, you guys are going to judge our draft. So you guys are going to figure out which team got 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place. Now, what kind of criteria did you guys use in order to sort through the teams?
Well, okay, so let's start here. We did a 2-column rating score.
Okay.
We did because the specific ask was the most memorable scary scenes in non-horror movies.
Right.
So we made one section that was a scare rating, and we gave everything a 1 to 5.
Okay.
So how scary was the scene? And then we also did another column that was most memorable. How memorable was the scene?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
And then we also on a 1 to 5 scale.
I'm sorry. Can we pause for a second?
Nate again doesn't understand.
You literally
the
didn't tell me that it was most memorable. The way it was described was it was the scariest scene in a non-horror movie. I got to look this up.
This is getting embarrassing.
We've used most memorable for 40-something drafts we've done. How would you not forget? How would you forget that it's not most memorable?
I'm going to look it up and I'm going to post it on the socials. I'm going to post a screenshot of your text messages on the socials.
Somebody's having a breakdown on our pod, and I'm hoping you all can guess which one.
Yeah, it's fucking everybody but me.
He's going to start murdering.
I'm not sure who's crazier right now.
Yeah. Felicia, what do you got?
Please.
I just want because Nate, you had mentioned that the movies you chose were all horror movies. You didn't mention that. Your team mentioned that all
they're not my team. I'm not on their
team. So all those movies that you chose, did you like those movies?
Oh, he hasn't seen
any of them.
Oh,
and I'm not joking you when I tell you. You don't know which team is his, but there's one team on there that the person that picked those movies has not seen any of those movies.
One of the four.
I saw one was for me. The rest were for whatever list was produced by my Google search.
Nate loves BuzzFeed.
Gotcha.
Which is funny. These guys are some of my best friends in the whole world, and I hate Nate so much right now. Like a lot.
I will say we didn't mention on the last pod, but I mean, you guys started off and you really had never met each other in person, but you guys connected quickly and during the pandemic on Zoom, things like that. We've all known each other for quite a while, and we did Zoom. We did a whole host of episodes for like a year.
We
on
did
Zoom
a year's worth of episodes
without putting
on
them
Zoom
out,
and didn't
just
record them.
Just us making each other laugh and drinking together on Zoom, and that's how we kind of started. Then we're like, "Fuck, we should actually do this for real."
We call them the basement tapes.
They will never see the light of day. They're embarrassing and terrible.
I love that.
Oh man!
Okay,
so our hatred for each other is always with love.
Okay, but let's get back. Okay,
so two categories. They have the scariest and then most memorable.
Okay,
which I love, which embodies kind of the whole draft ethos of our whole thing. Yeah. No, it's perfect. So
yeah, we just went.
Do we?
Yeah.
Tell them the twist.
We do.
There's a twist. There's got to be a twist with a horror chick.
Let's go.
Oh, Jesus.
There is a consequence for choosing a horror movie.
Oh shit.
So wait a minute. So you guys are saying that somebody picked what you guys would consider a horror movie, because that makes me excited because I know exactly which two movies you're talking about.
But we really wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt and do our due diligence. So how we determined that, we didn't just make it our opinion, because it would have been a lot more lost points if it was our opinion.
Got you.
What we did is we looked at how it was categorized both on IMDb and Wikipedia.
Oh my God. All right. This may favor Nate. Gosh dang.
We shall
okay.
see.
All right. So, ladies, we know your guys' criteria. We know that you guys are experts. So let's dive right in. You guys have got a fourth place team.
Well,
did you guys do points?
Yeah, that's the big question. Is there a point system that was used? So before you say any fourth place, third place, second place, first, I like to hear just the points read from bottom to top without saying any team
fourth
names.
place got however many points and so forth.
Yeah, just say the bottom points were this, third points were this, before we talk about any teams.
They get it, Brown.
I'm sorry.
You're explaining,
I'll edit
you're
that
explaining
shit.
it just as well as you explained our snake draft. Okay,
It'll be edited. That's the magic of editing.
if you edit this shit out, I'm leaving the pod.
Damn it.
You see what we have to deal with, ladies?
hate when you
have
do that.
two
I hate
people
when
on
he
your
says that.
podcast. It's got to be so easy with two people.
Thanks, Mav.
I've got 4 assholes that I've got to deal with every episode.
I like you said 4 because that includes yourself.
Yeah, I know.
He knows.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
Okay, so you just want us to do the numbers? From
Yeah.
lowest
Numbers
to
first.
highest.
Love hearing those numbers.
Okay, here we go. I'm scared. Not great at numbers. Here we go. 16,
Okay.
21,
Okay.
32, and 33.
Oh, it's tight at the top. Okay.
We like those jumps.
So
and we like
somebody shit the bed pretty bad at 16.
I've already got a bad feeling about
and
this.
at 22 isn't that good either. But there's
if Zach loses this draft in fourth place, I will. We're gonna have a party tomorrow.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to lose this draft. I know that I am.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, that got us excited. Now let's go ahead and start with the real legit results. Fourth place.
So just tell us the team that's in fourth
Yeah.
place, and then Brad will read what movies they picked, and then you can pick that apart and tell them why they suck.
Okay.
You want me to say it? Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead.
They're all done.
There will be a loud
Maybe the
reaction.
hardest
You might want to take your headphones off because there will be a very visceral reaction.
Turn the volume all the way down.
Okay. Guys, in fourth place is Team 2.
Oh shit!
Team 2 includes
Whose team is that, Brad?
Alien, chest bursting scene, Cape Fear, De Niro, come out, Mulholland Drive, diner scene, and Fire in the Sky, first abduction.
Now ask yourself:
they're
has the person that has
100%
picked all of
scariest
those
scenes.
movies seen any of those movies?
100% scariest scenes.
I'm so glad that you guys picked Nate's team for last place, as he bitched and
We
complained.
were waiting for this for a couple hours.
I don't even care if I win.
I am going to. You know what? I'm going to put on our socials. The only thing I'm writing in the description of this episode is under protest. Yes, let's hear your
hear
main
it.
logic. Okay, go ahead.
So, I do want to say, Nate, especially for me, that Fire in the Sky scene is the most terrifying.
That's
That's
the
a
only one
great
I had
fourth
fucking
round
seen.
pick.
That's the only one I had seen.
He
told the heart boy.
He told a
Yeah.
whole story about how he can't go outside of his house at night anymore because he's
Yeah.
afraid the aliens are going to take him away.
Yeah, that was my pick for me. Okay.
Absolutely excellent.
It says you should have went with your heart.
Mulholland Drive scene made us laugh. Did not think that was scary at all, and so I apologize.
It's on
for
like
that.
every list.
Do you love that movie though?
I don't think Tawny has seen it. I saw it a long time ago. I really didn't, and so then I didn't watch it again.
Ooh,
and
watch
I don't
it again.
remember a lot about it.
It's bad
so
shit
just so
crazy.
you know, we wanted to be really fair. For the ones that we don't remember, we looked it up and we watched the scenes again.
YouTube
and all of
assist.
that.
We
That's our
expect nothing less.
YouTube assist. Scotch Beck's patented YouTube assist.
Okay, and did I get any of your bullshit twisty not horror points or what?
Did he have any movies?
Alien?
Did.
Did you say Alien was a
My
horror movie or
friend.
not?
So Alien is a horror movie.
Okay.
100,000%.
Interesting
Yes,
take.
100,000%.
Okay.
And if you look it up, it is a sci-fi horror movie. And so, unfortunately, we gave you.
What else did I
0
pick?
points
Well, I'll just say, so
for choosing
please
Before
understand that
that-
No points.
we canceled his first 3 picks, and so I think we were just afraid
picked-
of what might happen.
He picked
we're at his
Exorcist,
house,
Shining.
and we're like, he might have overturned the table and just said, "Go home." If
he
we would
picked,
have, if
he
we would have
picked
said Alien's a
Exorcist,
horror movie.
The Shining, and The Strangers, and we were like, horror movie, horror movie,
Those
horror
are
movie.
all
And then
great.
he came up with Alien, and we were like, okay bro, go to town. We'll give that one
And all
to
those
you.
movies are great. The last movie you chose was Cape Fear. So this is the thing. I love that movie. The reason we really gave it a lot of thought, in our opinion, that isn't the most memorable scene. Like, I think of him when he's getting out of prison and he's working out, or when he's coming on to Juliette Lewis.
Exactly.
Like,
when he
I
puts
thought
his
of other
fingers,
scenes that were
when he
more
puts his
memorable.
fingers
But
in
were they-
Juliette
but were
Lewis's
they
mouth,
scary?
I told Nate that. I said that's a scarier scene.
Or actually, when
For
he
sure.
when he assaults the other girl in the hotel room.
Oh, yeah.
like that scene's horrible. Like, yeah, he totally. Have you seen? You haven't seen the movie. You picked-
These are all
He's
scenes
never
from
seen
that movie.
So great movie, but
yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
we came out at.
So-
and I think it was Alien really that hurt the score overall.
The
Yeah,
internet.
that really hurt you. And sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just want to say we felt like there had to be a big penalty for choosing an actual horror movie that went on the list.
I
So
love
0
it.
Like I
points in
said,
either category.
I can't wait till we have the most serious, best serious scene in a romantic comedy, because I'm gonna
I
shit
wish-
all over all 3 of you.
I wonder how many points you would have gotten if we would have let you pick The Exorcist. I think you would have gotten negative
I think
points.
they probably would have said, "Guys, we're not coming on the pod because obviously you
It
guys
is
are all
a
confused."
religious thriller. Okay?
Obviously, none of
I
you
stick with
understand the
that.
category.
religious thriller.
But
Okay,
my
ladies.
my favorite one is That Fire in the Sky.
That's the
a
only
nice
one I
pick.
had
That's,
seen.
That's a
It's
nice
fucking
last
terrifying,
pick.
so.
That's a nice.
He said
last
he
pick.
watched
Fourth
it as a
damage.
young man and didn't go outside for 6 years. So, all right.
And that was a later pick, right?
It's my
that was
last
like
one.
Last
Fourth
one.
pick. Yeah, it's a steal.
Shocked no one else took that because just so you all know, I haven't seen a lot of the movies on here, so I don't know personally, but I did do some research, and like everybody online cites Fire in the Sky, and then we watched it and I was like, holy shit, this is a really scary scene. I haven't seen the movie, but I was like, this would have traumatized the shit out of me if I watched it when I was a kid.
So
So,
I hear,
love
what
it.
I
It was
hear
a
you
great pick.
What I hear you saying is I won the 4th round, which is the only legitimate one of this entire draft. Great. I won. Okay.
There you go.
See you guys.
Take that with you and
Good seeing you.
and go get some grenadine.
Yeah, have some grenadine. Enjoy your 4th round.
In last place, you can put some of those tears in your fucking grenadine, and we'll just move on to 3rd place. Ladies, what do we got in 3rd place? We have.
So we had 4th place, 16 points, and then 3rd place had how many points?
22.
Just 22?
Okay, a little
Okay.
bit of a jump.
Oh, no,
21.
21 points. All right, so let's hear which team
And I'm
had
very
21
afraid that
points
my
in
team's
third.
going to fall into this category. Okay, go ahead.
I can do this one, Felicia, since you did the last. I don't want to make you go through all of these. And okay, so that was team 3, right?
Team 3 had 21 points. That was Requiem for a Dream, Final Tragic Sequence, Ernest Scared Stupid, The Troll in the Bed, Willow, The Devil Dogs Maul the Nurse, and Minority Report, Tom Cruise loses his kid while underwater.
So you guys are picking team 3 for 3rd place?
That is what they said.
Oh, I misunderstood what she was saying.
Zach just thought he won. He's just like, this is great. I won.
Oh, I love our drafts.
I can't believe. Okay, so have you guys?
let them speak. Let them speak.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Start us off.
I have
yeah,
questions.
Yeah, you keep quiet, 3rd place.
Okay, do we want to go bottom to top like we did last time?
Sure.
Okay, so we looked at Minority Report. Tom Cruise losing his kid. You won some points there because losing a child is fucking terrifying.
Exactly. Thank you.
obviously. But I think you lost some points in memorable, how memorable it was.
That's the one that they messaged me. They're like, hey, do you have a clip for this Minority Report scene?
That scene stuck with me, man. That scene fucked with my head.
I've mentioned that a few times on the pod before. I do like that scene a lot.
I never go underwater.
So that's how that shook out.
Right? What about the Willow pick? I was very
Willow.
shocked by this.
So they didn't like my Willow
I love
pick.
Willow
Are
with
you
a
guys?
passion.
Are you guys versed in Willow? Tawny, you seem young. Are you not? Have you seen Willow? You've never seen Willow. God dang
No,
it!
I've never even heard of it. And so that hurt.
That's a toughie.
I've seen it so many times, and I was telling Tawny how fun of a movie that is.
Fun, not scary.
Super
Fun and scary when the dogs. I mean, you got to put yourself in my shoes. 1988, and there's dogs that are eating old women that are trying to save babies.
Hairy animatronic dogs are terrifying.
I mean, listen, I will say the terror of that scene was palpable. People
Thank
are
you.
screaming. It's
Yes.
chaos, panic. I'm being totally sincere right now. It was scary. And
She did say
then
that.
the dogs are scary. Like, they hold up and they look scary. So you won some points there. It just the memorable.
All right,
Super memorable.
what about my second pick? What are we losing points
Scared
for?
Stupid.
Here?
Troll in the Vent.
Ernest Scared Stupid, one of the greatest movies of all time, came out 6 years before you were born, Tawny. What do you think?
I definitely watched this movie.
Okay.
For sure. But you got like a 1 and a 1 out of 5 in both categories for this because it is not scary.
Zach, we're talking third place though right now. You got to feel good about that.
I sat on my couch just a couple days ago, or a year ago and a couple days, and sat with my boys and watched that movie, my 10 and 12-year-old boys, and they were freaked out by the trolls. And I was like, oh, yeah, you guys are scared, aren't you? I loved it. I can't believe you guys weren't scared by this.
I
I
just
didn't
remember.
even remember it.
You're all.
I just remember it being
Damn it.
stupid.
It's not very memorable.
I remember it being
remember that.
stupid.
Zach's like, you know who else is going to be super scared by this? Two chicks that love hardcore horror movies.
Yeah, that's
They're going to
true.
be terrified.
They're like, we've seen Martyrs, and we don't
This
think Ernest
shit.
Scared Stupid is scary. Okay, so what about my
I mean,
first
to be
place
fair,
pick?
I was watching Child's Play at like 5, so I probably was a hard child to scare in general.
You've been hardened.
Yes.
Requiem for a Dream. We got to say that's a nice pick, right?
It's a great pick.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Very
That
good.
was your highest score. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Tony.
go ahead,
I just
go ahead.
fucking love that movie so much and was so fucking disturbed by it
Yeah.
that I have to say multiple F-bombs. Really great pick.
Oh, all right.
That's it. That's what I'm gonna say.
That was
You
a
guys have
wonderful
redeemed
first
yourself. All right.
Sorry, Tommy. I totally took that.
No.
No, you're good. That sums it up. Yeah.
Awesome.
Now, I will say for both of you, multiple viewings of this movie because it was a one time for me, but I still think about it all the time.
Brad doesn't want to watch it again.
Requiem?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen it multiple times. It's like when somebody goes, "Oh my god, that's so disturbing." I'm like, "What was that again? What movie was that?" But I have seen it, and then it was years and years and years. And my oldest daughter, she's in college, and I don't know how it came up. I think it was, oh yes, she has a big poster that has cult classics, and Requiem was on there. And she's like, "Oh, will you watch this for me?" And I'm like, "Oh, I remember loving that movie." We
Oh
watched
no!
it. At
You
the
watched it
end,
with your daughter.
I literally stopped and I went, "Oh my god, baby, I'm so sorry." I'm so sorry. And I just like held her. I felt horrible.
Oh, man.
Aronofsky
And
will
then
do
you
that.
stopped
to
and
you.
said,
LA's in
drugs are
college.
bad,
She's-
MK.
And then
She's never doing drugs. Okay? No, she doesn't do drugs.
Hey.
Sorry. She's never doing drugs.
You made sure of that, Felicia, when you showed her that movie.
and then your 8-year-old walked in the room and was like, "Stop being a pussy."
Yeah. Don't do drugs. Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
my
so
God.
I really think we've come up with the new DARE program. We just show Requiem for a Dream to 6th graders,
There you go.
and then we see if they want to do drugs after that. I think
Yeah,
I
I
think
think that
we've
would
come
work.
up with
That's
it.
how I parent. All my kids are doing real great.
Okay, so now there was a big jump in points to
Okay.
to two guys that I hate with all of my passion.
I'll say we went head to head last week for first place, and if you guys choose a certain team, this guy will have 4 in a row.
Three.
So obviously
Just three in a row.
Just 3 in a row.
by
Okay.
revealing your second place pick, you're going to obviously reveal the first place pick. So there will be a lot of yelling and moaning. Once that subsides,
I will read the second place team, and we'll do
read
the
the
same
second
thing.
place team. All right. So second place with 32 points. Who do we got?
Second place with 32 points. Do you want to tell him, Tawny? Because I talked over you for Requiem.
No, you go.
All right. Second place was Team 4.
Team 4 includes 7, the sloth scene, Jaws with the severed head, Aliens, Colonist Eyes Open jump scare, or Colonist Eyes Open jump scare, and Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Bilbo Goes Psycho.
Okay, so ladies, let me lead you into this one. So, are we gonna say that he lost by 1 point because one of these movies is a horror movie?
No.
Okay.
Will we agree though that they're all
No.
jump scares? They're all jump scares.
I think
That's true.
Yeah. I think maybe Team 4 lost by 1 point because of a movie Tawny loves so incredibly and rated high for the winning team. So
So he
Okay.
got some points. He got some assistance.
yeah.
Shouldn't have been as close.
So in case you guys are wondering, because they kind of undersold it, it's Scott here who's eating shit, and just want to get super clear.
I'm eating less shit
He's
than
eating-
fourth place.
Yeah,
Grenadine.
you know what?
Yeah, how about grenadine?
Hey, you know what? We're all losers, bro. All losers.
So, all right, let's talk about that Team 4. Let's start at the bottom. We can go up that top. There you go. Team 4.
All right. So we loved the Bilbo Go Psycho. That is a scary scene.
Completely out of
Shocking
nowhere. Yeah.
and memorable. Love that. The Colonist Eyes opening on Aliens scored a little bit lower than the Lord of the Ring one. Lord of the Rings one, but that we both agreed was memorable and scary.
And Alien's not a, that's not a horror movie because, why would one of the
an
same
action
franchise be a
thriller.
horror movie?
That one's a straight up
So,
action. That's Bill
Nate-
Paxton going wild.
That's fun. That's
If
good
we
times.
go to Wikipedia and IMDb,
You know what?
it is a
Don't-
science fiction adventure,
Don't,
not horror.
don't cite
Thank
your
you.
internet bullshit
Aliens.
on me. Okay? All right, I'm not-
Aliens.
No, you're not fooling
Is
anybody
a
here.
action movie. Alien is a horror movie. Is your theory?
what's,
right?
I was so happy to hear you guys say that you cited Wikipedia and IMDb because I did too. And when they allowed Alien, I was like, well, shit, I'm totally fine on Alien, so I should be good on that.
I think you're still correct.
Yeah.
I can tell you, we did look up Fire in the Sky, Aliens, Cape Fear, Jaws, Seven, and Alien, just to confirm
Right.
if they were listed at all as horror movies.
Okay.
I
The
will say,
only
I
one, to our surprise too, was Alien.
I argue Jaws was a horror movie. I feel like that's the closest to the horror movie.
Now it depends on
classic Jaws, but
it depends on how deep you look also because like the two sources you listed, Jaws was cool, Seven was cool, but then also you'll find discussions where people say, well, Seven is a classic horror film, blah blah blah, and like they have all this. But you did say there was two sources you looked at, so I was on the edge. I wasn't sure if I should draft it. I asked the guys, "Hey, does this count?" And they said, "Cool."
Hey, Scotch is our former judge, so I got to say that he's loving the fact that y'all did this intense
You guys
research
took it serious.
and
I
took
love
it
it.
serious.
I fucking love it so much.
He's giving you guys the thumbs up approval
Yeah.
right now for sure.
Okay. So let's.
If there is something you should know about us, it's rating things. We take it very fucking seriously.
We
So-
have the
it
right.
seems like
Awesome.
on
That
our
is-
podcast, it seems like we do it fast, but that's only because we cut the 30 minutes. of talking back and forth.
We were filming and we were recording, and I saw it said talking about it or whatever you guys said on the message. I was like, okay, they're into it. They're deep
Yes.
into this discussion. I love it. So that was
Okay.
appreciated.
We did Seven actually on our podcast because we see that as being horror, but it wasn't listed as.
So my theory was that Seven is the cutoff. So any movie scarier than Seven is a horror movie. Any movie less scarier than Seven is not a horror movie. It's a thriller. That's my cutoff.
You know what? It would have been cool if you texted that to me earlier today. All right, let's
still
go.
going.
Let's go to Team 1.
If I thought you'd seen any
well,
of
let
the
me
movies,
just tell you.
Yeah, they still got to get some Jaws and Seven.
Hey.
What are we
Okay.
thoughts?
I'll be fast with that. Jaws, great pick. We just thought the severed head scene did score high for scare. A little less for memorable, only because, but not totally less, just a little bit because we thought other things were more memorable in that movie.
Like when he was chumming and the shark comes up and like
Yeah.
that type of thing. Famous scene with
Yeah.
when you need a bigger boat. I was kind of
Yes.
going back and forth between those two scenes. So
And then the sloth was 5 out of 5. The
Yeah.
seven
Boom.
sloth, that was
Great first round pick.
Yeah, amazing pick.
the first place team.
First place team, Team 1. That was Pee Wee's Big Adventure, Large Marge, Train Spotting, Baby on the Ceiling, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Boat Ride, and Raiders of the Lost Ark, Nazi Face Melting.
Now, ladies, we're on a Zoom that no one else can see, but we can talk about the visual aspect of the podcast. Do you guys see Brad's mustache? Do you guys want to change your pick after seeing the mustache in real life?
I actually want to award 1 extra point for the mustache.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Do
That's
not
what I'm
encourage him.
talking
Do
Oh
not.
my God.
He's gonna have mutton chops by the end of the winter if you keep this shit up.
Oh
Okay, so his first place team was what teams, Brad?
Large
What
Marge.
movies did you just
We
say?
just
Them?
said it.
just said
Dude, so I had my one of one as Large Marge because I remember as a kid. Does that resonate with you guys? I know that was his first pick. We're going a little backwards here, but did that resonate with you guys?
That was me. That was my top pick. That was the first
Oh,
thing
I
I
love
thought
it.
of when I because it scared the shit out of me, and I watched it as a tiny child, and it scared me so much that I actually forced myself to watch the movie over and over again so I could try to desensitize myself to how scared I was.
And that's Tawny's
Bye.
origin story.
Doesn't that make so much sense, you guys?
Yeah. When we asked you how this podcast started and you didn't start with that story, it was a fail. It was a full failure.
That's true. I should have gone way back. So obviously that was a 5 in both categories.
Right.
Because I also feel like almost everybody has seen that fucking movie. Like it's got to be super memorable for a ton of people. So yes, great pick.
Felicia, has your 8-year-old seen that movie?
No, I forgot all about
Mom
that movie.
failure.
Not scary
I've
enough.
seen it, but I think she'll be like, what?
She would be like,
there's
what
other-
is happening?
There's other weird moments in that film because I mean obviously Tim Burton and stuff, but the clowns and stuff when they have like the bike and then it's like Francis is Satan and like it's
there's some weird stuff. But that
weird
Large
moments in
Marge
that.
scene when
Large
when
Marge.
she goes full
Wow.
bug eyes, that's a
great.
scary scene.
You also got some extra points there too, though, because like the whole scene is scary.
Yep.
It's not just like one quick scary
Oh,
moment.
she's telling
like
us
it's
fucked up story.
it's really horror. They
Yeah.
really go horror in that scene. So yes, obviously I love that. But
My 8-year-old has seen some of these movies on this list.
Okay, so what was the next one? What's the second place movie?
Baby on Ceiling.
Train spotting, baby.
Train Spotting. I hope she hasn't seen that one.
No, she has not.
Yeah,
Neither has Tawny.
I was gonna say,
Oh, jeez.
neither have I.
it's fucked
I've
off,
actually-
Tawny.
I know I've avoided this movie because of the subject matter. Like I don't really love watching movies about like drug addiction, and so like I've always stayed away from it. But it got scored high in the memorability scale because a ton of people have seen it and talk about this scene. I've seen people reference it on forums forever and a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I watched the scene and I personally was like, I don't think this is very scary, but it's because I don't have the context for the movie. So Felicia, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I love this movie, and what I shared with Tawny without sharing much, so in case she wants to watch it, I felt the scene where they find out what actually has
Right.
happened to the baby is far more
100%.
terrifying
Disturbing.
and impactful than that fever dream of the baby on the ceiling. And so that's why for that one, for scare, we knocked that down a little bit.
Yeah, out of context,
fair.
that scene's going to be a little bit corny almost because it's like, I mean, it doesn't look that realistic.
It's like a weird Pepsi commercial.
I remember that one. That's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Super Bowl
The baby
20,
dance.
29. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the baby.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Dancing
that's
baby.
way old
Same,
school.
Yeah.
same baby.
I know. It was
Tawny was like,
anxiety
"This
inducing,
is not
but-
scaring
That
me."
baby's had a good career.
All right, what was your third movie?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory boat ride.
What are your thoughts on this, ladies?
Also great pick. 5 and 5, so 10 full points.
Holy
on this one.
10 full points on Willy Wonka?
When that came back to me in the
You
third
know
round,
why?
I was
You
like,
guys love
this
Johnny
is
Depp
huge.
that much?
This is
No,
not the Johnny
no.
Depp
I'm
wait.
version.
joking. I'm joking.
You know what I think? That this particular Brad, this is your team one. right?
Yes.
It's the nostalgia factor on a lot of these.
Yeah.
Because Willy Wonka, Tawny and I both agreed, oh, for sure. The first thing that comes to our mind is that boat scene in Willy Wonka was scary as a kid and weird and like, what's happening now? It's not Candyland. There's like some weird shit happening and I don't know how to process it.
Well, and it's even as an adult when you watch it. Like I've watched it with my kids and stuff. I'm just like, this is so out of place in this movie. It makes zero sense, and it's just evil. It's crazy.
The whole movie feels very unsettling to me. Like there's other scenes like him getting sucked up the tube and them
Yeah.
floating up towards those like whirring blades. Like I remember watching this as a kid and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, am I supposed to be happy about this experience? Because I am not.
Until
It is
burps to the rescue.
Terrifying.
I mean, they just did the horror Winnie the Pooh. How long before they do the full horror Willy Wonka?
That would be fun.
It's. I mean, it's basically the same movie. It's just a little more blood.
We get that Skarsgård kid to play the fucking Willy Wonka.
And now, ladies,
Yeah.
ladies, I will say that I ended my draft with Raiders of the Lost Ark, Nazi face melting. I was like, how did I get this with the last pick out of 16? How was this the last pick? What did y'all think about
Now,
that?
Tawny, had you ever seen that movie?
No.
Yep, I knew it.
Yeah, sorry. I just, I mean, this should be obvious, but if it's not a horror movie, like, it's not a high priority for me to see. So I have not seen a lot of classic movies that I get a lot of shit for. But
She was watching The Ring for the 85th time.
Raiders of the Lost Ark was one of those PG movies that came out before PG-13, and it was a little unsettling to watch it as a young child. And be
Raiders of the Lost Ark with melting Nazis, and then Big with the sexual assault of a 37-year-old woman on a 12-year-old boy.
How do we miss that one?
These are all PG movies.
So we went like middle of the road for scary because it looked good. It held up. Like watching the stop motion, and it was bloody, and that was good. And then we gave it a little extra point for most memorable because I feel
It's
like
classic.
Yeah, it comes up a lot when you search for this. So
Agreed. It is when you do the search, that one comes up a bunch.
When you do the search, Nazi face melting Indiana Jones, it comes up a lot. That's weird.
Unfortunately, all my Nazi searches are really heavily Kanye West influenced nowadays, actually, which is unfortunate.
All right, so ladies, I think you guys are amazing judges, obviously, but
you guys did awesome. You picked the wrong team, but it was a good effort. I think maybe next Halloween we're gonna have you guys back on, and we're gonna let you guys redeem yourself. Yeah. But honestly, thank you guys.
No.
So much.
You're skipping a whole category, brother.
What am I skipping?
Also rounds, baby.
How about you are skipping?
Oh shit! All right, ladies. So we want to talk about also rants. Do we have a bumper?
We do. Ready?
How the fuck could we miss that one? I just don't understand. It's our also rant. You idiots.
So we've got this cool thing on Bev's Video Kingdom where we like to write 5-second songs, and that was one of them.
That's a great one.
So, ladies, you guys saw all of our scariest moments that we thought are top 16 scariest moments in a non-horror movie. So I'm curious what you guys are like, oh my God, I can't believe these idiots didn't pick this. So what is your guys' top like 3 or 4 movies or scenes that we did not get into?
I can go first. I don't know if we want to like bounce back and forth.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, let's do that.
One of my top ones, and I'm so shocked that no one brought this up, is I hope I'm not fucking up this movie. I didn't have time to look it up and make sure I had the right movie. But Hacksaw Ridge. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Nate's seen it. He hates it. We've talked.
One of my all-time least favorite war movies. It's like if somebody made like a fun 50s nostalgic movie, except then there's a lot of people killing each other in it on the guise of war.
So I'm not mistaken though. This is the movie where there's like a very extended scene of some guy running through and seeing body parts.
Yes,
just
horrifying.
Horrifying.
It would be
the word.
It would be so scary if I wasn't expecting him to pull up at a soda fountain and talk to a soda jerk at any moment.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if y'all going to mention it, but we had talked about Saving Private Ryan as being, there's some scary moments in that one that definitely have that same vibe of just horrific gore going on. You're just like, if you imagine yourself in that situation, it's scary as fuck.
Well, and that's the thing you guys got to remember. It's tough for Nate with a movie like Hacksaw Ridge because he lived through that, right? 1940s.
Yeah. So what's your point?
Sorry. One of my running gags is that Nate's older than me. All right.
Not Balder, though.
I was surprised that there wasn't more war movie picks. Like, I haven't seen a ton of war movies. Is like the only one that came to mind, but that shit was horrific. And I was like, this is
totally. We just had a whole discussion about Saving Private Ryan. I don't know if that's one of your guys that you were going to pick, but we just had a whole discussion about.
He literally just said that right now.
What?
I said those exact words like just 20 seconds ago.
20 seconds ago.
I guess I don't pay attention.
All right. I want to hear some more.
What else do we got?
Lots of great war movies. The one that I thought was something from Jurassic Park, like maybe the T-Rex that was chasing the car.
The Raptors.
Just got so much. Yeah, Jurassic Park.
I had listed on mine that I didn't quite get to was the Velociraptors in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Like
too.
when they're in the ceiling and like the girl drops through the ceiling. She's hanging on, and it jumps up at the end. Yeah,
That's the little jump scare.
Yeah.
No, it's the mirror one where it goes running and it looks like she's trying to close the
And he runs into the thing.
but he hits it was the
Dents
reflection.
the door.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking scary when I was young.
So
I was a teenager when I went and saw that. I was screaming
yeah.
at the top of my lungs. Like,
That's on my
love
also.
that.
For sure.
So yeah, that I went before we came here. I was getting a pedicure with my wife and daughter, and I said scariest movie scene in a non-scary movie, and she goes, the only one I can think of is the kitchen scene from Jurassic Park. So,
Your wife?
Yeah, that's what Lisa's.
It was a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
It was Isla.
All right. What do you got? What else is like standouts for you guys before we kick in our also rants?
I guess my only other one that I feel like that might be a good one is Blue Velvet, and there's like a few.
Yes.
There's a few scenes from this one. But
Another David Lynch
Another Lynch.
disturbing fucking movie.
I had only other two that were different from because the ones that you picked, a lot of the ones you picked were the first ones that I picked as well, including Fire in the Sky. Can't stop talking about that. But the Fatal Attraction, several scenes,
on my list.
But like the cooking of the
bunny.
cooking,
That's not a horror movie now. Okay, cool.
Not a horror.
That is a thriller
Fatal
movie.
Attraction
That's
is
not a horror.
the epitome of a thriller.
So that's a thriller. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
and the last one I have is I just remember this one scene. I don't know anything. I don't remember anything else about the movie except this one scene that just ruined me as a kid. And it was Return to Oz.
The Wheelers. Oh my god!
And I don't even remember what any of the other movie was about, but I remember the Wheelers.
My wife said the same thing. She's like, Return of the Oz, all of it's fucked up. And I
the
was
whole
like,
movie is fucked.
I've never seen it. My daughter's like, I've never seen that. I think you should watch it. I was like, go for it.
It is dark and awesome.
let me fire off a few you guys haven't seen or heard of, but Misery, the leg hobbling, a clear.
Isn't that a horror movie?
That's a
Yeah,
horror movie.
Thank you,
the birds.
ladies.
If Stephen King wrote it's a horror movie,
The Birds
I
is
will
a
say
horror
The Birds
movie.
is not a horror movie. It's
I think
not
it's
a
a
good
horror
movie.
The Birds.
The Birds
like-
is a horror movie.
The birds are the burbs.
The birds, not the burbs with the.
I thought you were talking No, that's what I heard.
Birds. Caw.
The Birds is a horror movie. The Burbs
Okay, cool.
with Tom Hanks is not a horror
Agree
movie.
to disagree. When a Stranger Calls,
These are all horror movies, dude.
Horror movies.
What is happening?
The Thing, blood samples.
Definite
literally
horror.
like
Oh,
hot
that's
top
horror.
5
That's
horror
like one of the
movie.
craziest horror movies ever.
That's all I've got. Those are all thrillers.
All right, let's let.
I just think you love horror movies.
No, he's never
no, I've
seen
never seen
any
any
of
of
them.
those.
He's never seen any
I've
of
seen
them.
zero
Don't let
of
him
them.
fool
Why are
you.
you picking them? How do you
Because he
know?
saw them on the internet and decided that he should vote for them.
Hold on,
We've covered
ladies.
this.
As the guy, I got first place here. I want to say my last pick was almost going to be No Country for Old Men, the coin flip for
That's a pretty good
Shigur.
Before
Would
he
that-
kills the guy?
Right, where he does the coin flip in the gas station. No, he doesn't kill him.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
But he has a call it, and then he flips it.
That's a great pick. That's a great
would that have
pick.
been a good for scare, or is that like more like dread? Like, I mean, we were kind of talking about that earlier about like what is scare versus dread.
We've talked about that before too, and I think that they are the same. I think dread
100%.
scares you. I mean, if you're there's dread, there's jump scares, there's different types of scares, but I think it's all scary. Do you agree, Tawny?
I do, yeah. No, I think those are my favorite type of horror movies. I think
too.
at this point are ones that have a real deep sense of dread, and that is like Hereditary, The Lodge, The Dark and the Wicked, Caveat. Like all of those things have that feeling, and I think it's because as you like, for me at least, as I've gotten older, it's harder to be scared, and so the closest I can feel to that is dread. So yeah.
Oh, did you guys dig The Lodge? I love that you brought that up. Not a lot of people have seen that one. I've brought that up to
loved
several.
it.
I loved it too. All right.
Felicia loathed it. She hated it.
Okay, so I must have been. I'm really surprised because it seems like a movie I'd love. I must have been in a real shitty mood. I did not, and I will. This is one of the things though I want to rewatch because I feel like it should be something I liked, but I did not, and Tony did.
Unfortunately, that kind of shit scares me where I'm like, I loved that, but I don't want to rewatch it because I'm scared I won't like it as much. I feel like you feel me on
Yeah.
that, Tawny?
Yeah, I am also kind of scared to go back and rewatch it for the reasons Felicia didn't like it. Like, I don't want to see that. I just want to let it live and be like a happy memory. I mean, it's not a happy movie to watch, but you know, like,
yes,
right, exactly.
All right, Scott.
I also want to. Okay,
go for it. No, go for it.
I have an honorable mention, and it's not a movie, and so it doesn't really count. But I just want to say the Chernobyl TV show,
dude,
super good.
is probably the closest to something that feels like horror that is not horror.
So that's 7 to me. That's again the cutoff for TV, right? If it's scarier than Chernobyl, it's a horror show. If it's not as scary as Chernobyl, it is. I mean, in my opinion, the amount of dread that you feel watching Chernobyl is similar to a lot of horror movies, but I don't consider it a horror show.
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Craig Mazin, who wrote that. Who did the screenplay not the screenplay, whatever it is for TV, but he did that show. Chernobyl's so badass.
Well, you need to tell your boy if you're going to make a movie about people in Russia, maybe have Russian accents. My problem with that whole fucking
actors.
movie, every single one of them's got an English accent, and I'm like, holy shit, they got a lot of English people working at this fucking Russian nuclear reactor.
I watched that with my son. That was a great fucking series. Wait, did Tawny, did you have one more?
I just wanted to say one more thing, and I think that, like, Zach, your scale for what's horror and what's not, I think is a good one, because I just want to say, obviously we're biased and we love horror movies, but a lot of people have this tendency to take movies and call them something not horror if they feel like they're good, right? Like, I think a lot of people feel like horror movies are just shit, schlocky movies, and so if it's good, it transcends the genre and somehow becomes not horror. And again, obviously we're biased, but we think that's bullshit. And movies are horror and can be fantastic and still horror.
Well, Fincher fucks around with that all the time, because we talked about Zodiac. We've done Zodiac on our pod before, and I had on one of my also rans was Zodiac, the lakeside scene in Zodiac. But also you could say Jake Gyllenhaal when he goes down in the dude's basement.
Yeah.
That shit's fucked up too. So it's like, is that horror? Is that thriller? I think it's more thriller.
Well,
but
like in anything like M. Night Shyamalan does, it's Signs. Like Signs to me isn't a horror movie. It's
correct.
But The Village,
right?
I mean, that one feels
horror. I don't know.
Are you literally asking me right now?
I don't know. Cool. Sixth Sense to me is more of a horror than any of his other movies.
I think Sixth Sense is a horror movie. I mean, the best M. Night Shyamalan horror movie is The Visit, and I'm sure you guys have seen that. Have you guys seen that?
I have. Yep. Love it. Yep.
I loved it.
So I had a few random ones. So like most of my list is from stuff just from my youth that screwed me up, and like stuff I remembered as a kid. And one of the thing was Star Trek Wrath of Khan, when they put these earworms, they put these helmets on them, and these worms climb in their ears. It fucked me up as a kid so bad, and it was just horrible. And
is that
worms,
more?
They mind controlled them or whatever.
Is that more or less scary than the bug that goes into Neo's belly button in
it's way
in
scarier.
the Matrix? It's
way
more
scarier,
scary.
Way
okay.
scarier.
All right. All right.
And then another movie that I loved as a kid that also kind of freaked me out was Twilight Zone the movie. There's a couple scenes in that. You want to see something really scary. The whole intro.
Oh, but that's just a straight up jump scare, though.
But it's jump scare.
You love those jump scares,
I love
man.
jump scares.
Yes.
And
you hate them, but you love them.
But the airplane, where he's John Lithgow.
The gremlin.
Yeah, the gremlin's on the plane. At the very end, he opens the window, and it's right there in his face, breaks the window. That scene's freaked
Simpsons
me out.
did it.
Yeah.
I just watched. My daughter's been going through all of the old Halloween episodes of Simpsons.
Right. And
she's just flying through those right now, and they came on the one with the Bart with the gremlin on the bus. Is so great.
Are kids into Gremlins now? My 10-year-old has been watching Gremlins.
Well, no, it's not.
I'm sorry, Simpsons. I've been watching Simpsons.
Pretty much the same thing.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I said the wrong thing, but Jackson's been watching Simpsons like crazy.
My kids were raised on Simpsons. That was like our
They've
lunchtime.
never watched it before. All of a sudden,
we would
they're
watch
watching
it during lunch pretty much every day growing up.
That's so weird.
I have
they're into
one
it.
last one, and this one is specifically for you, buddy. Mean Girls. Regina George.
Okay, now we're talking.
Regina George getting hit by the bus.
That jump scare scared you.
I wasn't ready for it.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, now we're talking.
It was low on my list. I'm just saying.
Now we're talking.
But
All right.
I knew Nate would love it.
Speaking my language.
I got two really quick ones from, again, kind of from youth, which was Secret of Nim, the Owl's Nest, when when Mrs. Frisbee gets down there and she's like creeping, there's a spider, and all of a sudden the owl comes out and it steps on the spider and it's got these glowing eyes and it's kind of fucked up looking. Like, I mean, that's the old Don Bluth animation, and it was like Disney animation, but it was fucked up. So it was kind of crazy.
Not to mention Watership Down, right?
Well, that's the most fucked up movie ever.
Yeah.
I would say along those lines, kind of another one that I just remember was Dark Crystal, when they would suck the life out of the kids.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Out of the gelflings or whatever they're called. Yeah, that freaked me out. I was, God dang it, I didn't think of that.
Yes,
you said that one?
The Dark Crystal, the Last Unicorn. I sent those to Tawny, and I was like, but I couldn't think of a scene because I just remember all of it just really disturbing me.
Speaking of Jim Henson and weird shit, like what about the Labyrinth when all the hands come out of the thing and are grabbing Jennifer Garner?
That's a great
dude. That's a good one too, right?
Wait,
we suck.
It's not Jennifer Garner, is it?
Jennifer.
No, I'm sorry, Jennifer
Connelly.
Jennifer Garner, Jennifer Connelly.
You know, she's in it for a kids movie. She's also in it for Requiem.
Even when the trolls stole the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
the
yes.
Trolls can come into your room and steal you.
There's like a whole bog scene, right? Too. That's like scary.
Totally.
This old, super cool David Bowie King of Trolls guy, but he's like in love with you, and you're just like a young girl, and it's creepy. He stole your baby brother. Yeah.
He stole your baby brother, but you're still strangely attracted to him. You're like, I don't know what to do here.
Yes, you're a great singer.
My final one was, and I think this is just being a Cold War kid, like growing up in the 80s. It's like the nuke strike in T2. There's like, I mean, Sarah Connor's on the fence and that bomb drops and everything starts burning and she's burning. Like, it's just all the little kids on the playground, they're burning. It's just like that shit fucked with my head, just thinking like, God damn, nuke disaster would be a bad day. You would not have fun.
Yeah, that would be bad, I think.
I also wrote down Terminator 2, but I wasn't sure. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, TT, yeah.
Yeah. But I couldn't think of a specific scene because, that movie like lives with, it's like part of me, and I am scared of Skynet. And
when his stepmom gets like a hand knife through the eyeball, through the
the stepmom does it to the stepdad. Yeah,
dude. Oh, that's a
she switches her
one.
hands from the milk. Or he goes right through the milk. That's what it is. Right.
The
through
decision to make T-1000 only be able to not make guns or bombs, but make like stabby
weapons,
things,
knives and stabbing weapons.
Let them have some cool gore in that for sure.
Oh, can I say just one more thing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
But everything you were saying just reminded me of one of the scenes that destroyed me the most, and it was Red Dawn, when all of the parachuters come down.
That is kind of creepy.
That destroyed me when my parents took me,
and
I was just like,
there's one kid hanging through the window, like after the attack, and like he's like there's blood, and he's like hanging through the window and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's a trip, yeah, man. That's a scary one because that makes you feel like, oh shit, that could happen.
That could happen.
Yeah, ladies, thank you guys so much for coming on with us. We really appreciate it. Everybody, go out, check out Two Chicks in a Horror Flick. It's Halloween. If you guys want to, maybe there's a horror movie you want to watch, but you want to get a little background on it before you watch it, go check out these ladies' episode on it. What do you guys think?
They've got plenty of episodes. You guys have 100 plus, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 110.
What?
Nice.
You guys have more episodes than us?
They sure do.
Yeah.
God damn, I was going to start a competition. I'm glad I know this information.
And, you know what? And we really enjoyed having you on, and we really like you. And if you ever want to have anyone on your podcast from BVK, we'll send Zach. Because I'm not watching any of your fucking movies.
Yeah. I think you disqualified yourself already, Nate.
Got it. Thank you for having us on. This was a blast.
Awesome. We really appreciate you guys. We'll let you guys get to bed, and thank you so much. God, that was great. All right. So, here at BVK, once we finish a draft, that means we get to do a movie. This will be the second time we get to promo this movie and tell everybody to go watch this movie. So you guys probably already watched it. And then we threw you a fucking curveball and we were like, now we're watching scary movies because it's Halloween. And now we're back. Mr. Nate.
No, it's not me.
Oh, it's Mr. Brad?
Yeah.
Brad got all soft.
I jumped in on my only like favorite romantic comedy, which is the movie Jerry Maguire. And I will say, I think it was a recent pod. When the timing of it came out, I was like, Niners suck. But then the Niners have just been kind of kicking some ass lately. Their defense is just off the hook.
Helps when you play the Carolina Panthers.
Well, and hopefully the injuries aren't too significant.
Right.
I know one of them is an ACL, and that's bad. But if Jason Barrett comes back, anyway, Niners looking great. We're going to talk football. We're getting into some football action. Rod Tidwell, the ultimate heartfelt agent, Jerry Maguire.
When I saw that Renee Zellweger was in it, I was like, "Oh, this must be Nate's movie," but it's yours.
It is
interesting.
Funny enough, I of all the romantic comedy sort of female lead heroines, she's not my fave. I like her. I like her a lot of stuff. I actually like her better in other stuff.
I will say, guys
Bridget
our
Jones.
age that watched the movie were a little bit more in tune with Kelly Preston.
100%.
I mean,
Zach,
Are you really a red-blooded American male if you're not in tune with Kelly Preston? Jesus
have you
Christ.
you've seen Jerry Maguire, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. The way you talked, you're like, it made it sound like you hadn't seen it yet.
Oh no, I've
yeah.
seen it. I just
Okay.
thought it was Nate's movie. That's all I was.
Oh man, there's so many fun takes to talk about
It's gonna be
because concussions have been a huge issue in football this year.
Hey, let's leave it for the episode, okay, Chachi?
Jesus.
Let's not step on my toes.
Is that things that Chachi does?
Grumpy Nate's still here. All right.
Damn.
He hasn't even showed up yet. Oh no, he didn't show up.
Say something about Tua. Nate
episode
might
have we
fist fight you. All right.
We don't know where we are.
So
Oh no.
we're gonna do Jerry Maguire next week.
Sure.
We love you guys. Thanks so much to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick.
Well, hey, go listen to their stuff. Shit, follow
yeah.
them,
Hey,
subscribe.
Have a happy Halloween. Get crazy. Have some fun.
Yeah, dude.
Don't pass out fentanyl. I guess that's not the cool thing to do. This year.
There's a lot of talk about people finding drugs in their kids' candy. Most of the drug addicts and druggists and
They
fucking
don't like
stoners,
to give that shit
they're not
away.
giving their shit away.
You're
for
either
free.
getting money for it or you're putting it in your body in some form or another.
Yeah, there's not a lot of drug addicts that are like, man, I really want to get a 5-year-old fucked up and not get myself fucked up.
Yeah, I want to get these kids and shit, so they're now competing with me for my stash. Yeah, no.
And this is all a trick for you to let your guard down, and then I can drug your kids.
Meth is the new razor blade. That's what they're saying. Okay.
Happy Halloween. Bye-bye.